Hi, welcome to week 2 of Fantastic Fridays. It's Miss Brandy again, and this week we're going to do a really cool project that's going to make this really colorful face, okay, someone's face, and it's going to be in the form of art called abstract, but we'll talk more about that when we get started, okay? For now, let's go ahead and open up our box and see what's inside. Okay. First, you're going to have some paints. These are watercolors, okay? So you're also going to need a cup with some water in it, okay? Just a little cup of water or a bowl, something like that, that will hold a little bit of water in it so we can get these watercolors all nice and wet so we can use them, okay? And then you will have a pencil and you will have a marker. Now this marker is what's called a permanent marker, okay? It does not wash off. So look, when we're using this, let's be really careful to put the lid back on when you're not using it, and be really careful not to get it on your clothes or anything like that, okay? Because it won't come off. Permanent, okay? And then you will have a piece of paper. Now, this is not just ordinary paper. This is called watercolor paper. It is used to put watercolor paints down on it, and it won't bend and warp, and the colors won't run all over the place. They'll stay where they're supposed to be, okay? So this is a special piece of paper. Alrighty, are you ready to get started on week 2 of Fantastic Fridays? Me too. Let's get started. Alrighty, I've taken everything out of my box, and I have my paper, my pencil, my marker, my watercolor paints, and then I also have a jar here with some water in it. You can use a cup or a bowl, just anything that will hold a little bit of water so you can put it on your paints to get them wet, and then a paper towel just in case I need it, okay? So I have all of my things. So if your paints, these little discs of paint have slid around in there and they're not in their spots, just pick them up and place them right back in the circle. No big deal. All right, I'm going to close this for now and set it off to the side. Also, my marker. Okay, so this type of art is called abstract. Abstract means that it's art that uses shapes and colors and textures to achieve the effect or the look of a real thing, like a person or an object, but it's not, it doesn't look the way it looks in real life, you know? You still know that it's that face or a person or an object, but it doesn't really look like it, right? So some really famous abstract artists that use this technique are called Pablo Picasso, and here is some of his work. And you also have Paul Klee. This is his work. And there's lots of others. Abstract art is a very big form of art. But today we're going to do a face that was a lot like the Paul Klee picture I just showed you, okay? And Miss Brandy's going to show you how to do it. All right, so first you're going to take your piece of paper and you're going to have it long way in front of you. So not like this, but like this, okay? Next, you're going to take your pencil and you're going to draw a line going all the way down the middle, okay? Now, don't press really hard and make a dark line. Just make a very faint line that you can barely see because we're going to end up erasing it later, okay? So I'm going to take my pencil. I'm going to find kind of the halfway mark, the middle of the paper. Doesn't have to be exact. And I'm just going to barely drag my pencil down the paper, and if your line even has gaps in it, that is okay. All right, so can you see my line? I can barely see it. Okay, and then I'm going to do another one in the middle this way too. Okay, So I'm just gonna barely touch the paper with my pencil. All right, can you see that? All right, barely, that's the point. So you should see 4 rectangles here, all right? So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to come over here, just kind of right around this middle line going this way, right on the edge of the paper. And I'm going to make a line that goes around and up to the other edge of the line. Can you see that? I'm not sure if you can. Come on, camera. Sometimes it doesn't want to focus. Okay, so I've just made a kind of a swooping line going from this edge all the way over to this edge where my lines are on the paper. Next, I'm going to come up here to this line. I'm going to come over just a little bit. So here's my line. I'm going to come over just the tiniest bit. I'm going to draw a straight line down to about right there. So here's my middle line, and that's where I stopped. And I'm going to come over here on the other side of the line about the same distance and come down again. All right, and your line doesn't have to be perfectly straight. If it's got some wave to it, that's okay. Now, off the ends of these lines, I'm going to come down at an angle. You see that? And the same thing on this one, down. Okay, so it should be shaped like this. And then I'm going to connect the ends of those lines with a straight line across. All right, can you see that? All righty. Next, I'm going to come about halfway up my nose here. This is going to be a nose. And I'm going to make a big arched line going across the paper. So from that line, go up and over. And then come down a little ways and do the same thing, but swooping the other way. And let your pencil go off the paper. Very good. And you're going to do the same thing to this side. So find your line, come up and over. Then come down the line and come down and up. So now you should have what looks like a nose and 2 eyes. Okay? Then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to find my middle line again. I'm going to go below the line in the middle. And I'm going to start at that middle line and go up and across. And then the same thing to the other side. Up and across. Then I'm going to take this line and connect it to that one with another swooping line. Now you've got some lips. Look at you. Then I'm just going to take a line and go straight across the middle to make the 2 lips. Straight across. Okay? Next, we're going to make the neck. So I'm going to come about halfway in these rectangles between the edge of my and the middle line. I'm going to come halfway and I'm going to go all the way up to where that chin is, okay? I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay. So do you have something that looks kind of like that? I hope so. And the great thing about abstract is these 2 sides, they don't have to match. Like Pablo Picasso had one little eye over here and a big eye over here, and the nose was off to the side and the ears on the cheek. It's okay. Whatever yours looks like is totally fine. All right. So now that we've got the basic shapes of our face, we're going to go in and put in some details, okay? So what do eyes have in the very middle of them? Pupils, right? So I'm going to draw a little bitty circle in the middle of my eyes. Okay, can you see that? Okay, and then I'm going to come right here and I'm going to find my middle line and I'll come down like that. And that's that little space above people's lips that kind of dips in a little bit. Next, I'm going to come down here on the neck and I'm going to find the edge of my neck and we're just going to do this on one side and I'm going to make a straight line coming over and then come down and do another one and another one and another one and another one and another one. So you see I'm kind of making them small, medium, long, and then coming back down again. And then I'm going to come over here to the jaw and do the same thing. I'm going to start at this edge and come over. But I'm not going to do as many lines. Just like that. Okay. Then people have some really sharp cheeks. So I'm going to make a line from the edge of my paper and just kind of come in like that. And do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Now I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to trace all of the lines that we just drew, okay? And we're going to add some more in there, but I think we're at a point where we can permanently draw our face on there. What's great about drawing it in pencil first is if you don't like the way it looks, you can just erase it and do it over again, okay? And then you're going to go over what you like with your permanent marker and it's going to stay there. Now, if you've gone too far and you just really don't like anything that you're seeing, you can always turn your paper over and try again on the other side, okay? So the two lines that I am not going to trace are the lines that we drew coming down and across the middles, okay? We don't want those lines. That was just to help us find where we need to put our shapes. So I'm going to start with the jaw line here. And if your marker comes off of your pencil line a little bit, that's okay. That's what we're going to erase. And then I'll take my neck here, outline it. I'll go ahead and trace out these lines. You might be able to see what I've drawn better now that I've put the marker down there. I'm going to trace my line for my lips. And I'm not a fan of how big I made these, so I'm going to make them smaller and bring them down a little bit. Next, I'm going to trace my nose. And again, I feel like I can bring this down a little bit more, so I'm going to ignore my pencil line and just bring it down a little bit, okay? You don't have to do that, but I think I'm gonna. So now I have a new nose. All right, now I'm going to trace out my eye. I like those the way that they are, so I'm going to keep them. And I'm going to take my pupil, or that circle that we put in the middle of our eyes, and I'm going to completely cover it in. Okay. And I do like these. I'm going to bring them in, but I'm just going to make them a little bit smaller than I did. Okay. Now I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to gently erase all of the pencil lines that I don't want on there, okay? I bet you have a really cool looking face. And remember, just take your time. If I'm ahead of you, that's okay. You can pause the video and catch up. Miss Brandy just has so much time to do this, so I've got to make it quick, okay? Just go in and find all of the lines that you don't want and erase them. A lot of really good artists start off drawing their pictures with pencil first to find exactly where they want to put all of their lines and shapes, and then erase it. Okay. Now that I got all that all erased, I'm going to get all of my eraser shavings off of my picture. Okay. Doesn't that look crazy? Almost looks like an alien, doesn't it? Another thing you can do is come up here around your pupil and make another big circle around it. On each side. Okay. Alrighty. Now, one thing that you can do if you have crayons nearby, which maybe you do, you can take some crayons and add all kinds of lines and patterns on this face. And if you don't, that's okay, but I'll show you what you can do if you do have them. So I'm gonna start with my nose here. I'm just gonna take this crayon and I'm gonna make straight lines going all the way down this nose with this color. Then I'm going to take another color. I'll take orange and I'm going to go this way with it. You can make whatever shapes you want. This is just what I'm using. Then I'm going to take this purple and I think I'm going to make this line kind of following the shape of the eye going across. But I'm just going to do it to that one side. Then I'll take some pink and come down here and do another one. Okay. Then I'll take this kind of bluish color right here and I'm going to make a straight line going down the middle from our nose down to our lips and then underneath the lips down to the chin. So I have two halves of my face here. And I'll take the green and come straight across on this side, straight across. Okay. Then I think, actually, you know what? I think I'll take that green back and I'm going to make some straight lines going all the way down from the eye to this line that I drew. So you see, I'm creating all these sections of the face. And then when we use our watercolor to paint it, it's going to look really, really neat. But again, if you don't have crayons around, that is okay. Next, I think I'll take this lighter purple and I'll come down here and kind of follow my lines that I made. Just like that. And then I will do, what color do I want? I like this kind of orangey brown color. And I'm gonna make little dots on the lips. You just do whatever you want. If you're getting to do the crayon technique, you do it however you want. Then I think I will take, where's the yellow? I want yellow. Okay, I got yellow and I'm just gonna make a zigzag line going across the neck. I'll do 2 of them just for fun. Okay. And I'm gonna do some more orange. I think over here I'll make swirls. I'll make big ones and little ones. Just like that. And then I'll take some blue and I'll come in here and I'm gonna make these lines like this in the eye. Okay, and I'll do a different pattern in the other eye. I think I'll use this darker blue purple, midnight blue. There we go. And this one, I think I'll make a swirl. Just like that. Okay. And just for fun, I think I'll do one more with red. I don't have any red. Razzmatazz. Fun. All right, so this one, I think I'll use these diagonal lines going this way. All right. So I like that. I think that's going to look really cool. It already looks pretty neat just how it is, huh? Okay, so let's get started on our watercolors. What you're going to do is open up your watercolors and take your brush out. Get all this extra crayon off of here. And you're going to get your brush really, really wet. Now, you've probably done watercolors before, but if not, you should get this really wet. Okay. Just swirl it around. I'm starting with blue. You can use whatever color you want to first. Okay. Just get it really, really wet. Now that I've got blue paint on my brush, I think I'm going to come over here in this green striped area, and I'm going to carefully follow this line across. I'm going to color in this whole square with blue. And if you need to add more water, you can add more water. So you'll see if you got to do the crayon with me that the paint does not go where the crayon is. And that's called a resist. The crayon resists the watercolor. It does not blend with it. And again, this is going to look really, really cool without the crayon. Just maybe in your mind, imagine where some of these blocks are and do different colors there, okay? I love watercolors. Personally, when I'm doing art myself, I use a lot of watercolors. I think they're just really fun. I like how the paints blend together really well. I like how you can make it darker or lighter. And there's all kinds of techniques you can use to get different effects with your watercolors. What I like to personally use at home is what's called watercolor pencils. They look a lot like colored pencils. So you end up coloring in with your pencil, and then you have these pens that are brushes on the end, and you fill the pen with water, and you use that to spread the watercolor pencil around. It's really cool. It's just a neat, easy way to do them. Okay, so now that I have my blue and green area colored in, I'm going to rinse my brush, rinse it real good, and then I think I'll move on to purple. I'm just going to move on down the line here on the colors. I'm going to get it good and wet. Sorry, I should be showing you that. I thought that you could see it. There you go. That's better, Miss Brandy. Okay, so I'm just getting it really, really wet. Okay. I think I'll give it a rinse and then get it so I don't want it so dark. All right, so now I'm going to come over here to where I did these orange swirls, and I'll color that section in. Again, you don't have to do it exactly the way I'm doing it. I want you to have fun doing it your own way. So I'm just going to come up to this pink line that I made and use that as my section for the purple. I'm gonna add a little bit more water here. think it's just so cool how you can put the crayon down and it still shows up underneath those watercolors. Just keep adding water as you need it. The trick is to make sure that you have as much paint on your brush as you can get, okay? These brushes don't hold a whole lot, but they still get the job done. If you really like using watercolor, I encourage you to find a way to get some really good watercolor brushes and really, really good watercolor palettes and have fun experimenting with that, okay? All right, now I got my purple. I'm gonna rinse my brush again and get some water on my orange. So in the end, we're gonna have this super colorful face that you'll see is just made out of shapes is all it is. We're not drawing a face that looks like our face or what it looks like in real life. We're drawing an abstract face. And all right, I think I'm gonna come over here and fill in this whole section with my orange. There are all types of abstract art. They weren't always faces. Sometimes they're just splashes of color or shapes that don't make anything in particular. It's just shapes and color or textures. Textures mean they're either bumpy or smooth. What's great about abstract art is the artist isn't telling you exactly what you should be seeing when you look at the painting. It's kind of up to the person looking at the painting to determine what they see in it, how they feel about it, what they like about it, what maybe they don't like about it. Really neat form of art. Okay, I've done my orange, so I'll move on down to my red here. What color are you working on right now? Have you used your yellow or your green yet? You can use the brown and the black too, but I just want mine really, really colorful, so I'm gonna stick to the colors. So I'm actually gonna color in this area of my eye with my red. Be real careful around these small parts. There's a fly in here that is just driving Miss Brandy crazy. Keeps buzzing around. Shoo, fly. Okay. I've got my red there, and I think I'll make the inside of my eye green. A little bit more water there. All right. I think I'll make that green. Ooh, that's pretty. I love that. Ooh, some of the red got in there, so I'm just going to swirl it around, kind of create a new color in there. Cool. And so now I have this space above my eye that I think I'm just going to do orange. You can make it a different color than what's underneath the eye. Uh-oh, I splashed some. That's okay. Got little dots of orange paint all over myself. I'm going to come all the way to the edge of the painting. This painting should fill the entire page. We're not going to have any white left. That's the thing. I say do it how you want, but what I really want to see is that you don't have any white left on your paper, okay? I haven't done yellow yet, so I think I'll do yellow, and I think I'll make the nose yellow. How does that sound? All right. Yeah, I like that. You can see those green lines showing up in the yellow. Get some more water. Come all the way down. Now the orange lines are showing up in my yellow. All right. This is looking so cool, isn't it? I really like this technique here. Alrighty, so what do I want to put down here with the red? I think I'll do more of this green. We have red and green up here, might as well do red and green down there, huh? Be real careful around my lips to just follow that line so I don't go into my lips with my green paint. Follow my jawline so I don't do the same thing. I don't go outside the line. And I'll follow this one too. So I've kind of set my borders here. I really like the way that these red lines are showing up in that green. So one cool thing about colors is by now you probably know all the colors of the rainbow. You have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And then when you mix colors like blue and yellow, you get green. And when you mix red and yellow, you get orange. And when you mix blue and red, you get purple, okay? But what happens if you were to have a circle with all the colors going around, call it a color wheel? This is what it looks like, right? And so you see that across the wheel, you'll have red, but then across from it, you'll have green. Across from blue, you'll have orange. And across from purple, you'll have yellow. All right. Those color combinations are called complementary colors. They're called that because those colors against each other really make each other look good. So blue really makes orange look good. Orange makes blue look good. Red makes green looks good. Green makes red look good, and so on and so forth. So those are complementary colors. So that's why I really like this green and this red together, and the blue next to the orange across from it. I just think that that looks really good using complementary colors. Okay, so I think I'll come up here with some more purple. And I'm sure as you go on in life, you'll learn a lot more about complementary colors. And I think I'll do the outside of the eye, the purple. Again, I'm going to follow this line so I don't go into the space that I don't want to go into. Outline it. That's what's called outlining. I hear somebody playing music outside. That makes me happy. Okay, and I think I'll go with orange inside the eye because I have a blue swirl. The complementary color is orange. So I'm gonna go in here with some orange. All right. Rinse my brush out real good. And again, I'm going to do the same thing like I did orange here, orange there. I'm going to do blue here, blue there, okay? Fill in our whole page, no white. See, this watercolor paper is great because if this was just regular paper, by now it would have gotten so wet that it would be all soggy and falling apart and bending and warping. And it's still nice and sturdy, isn't it? Okay, now let's see, what color do I want to do the lips? Uh-oh, I've done let my blue and, my green and yellow kind of mix together, didn't I? You know what? I'm going to keep mixing them and make a whole new color. How about that? Makes a brighter green when you mix the yellow and the green together. Oh yeah, there we go. So now that we've used probably all of our colors, we can start making new colors. Alrighty. Okay, so now I just have my neck area here, and I think that I'm going to make it, I'm gonna mix a color again, you know that? I'm gonna mix a color. I'm going to actually mix my purple and my blue together to get a different color. I'm just gonna use that. You use whatever it is you want to use. Again, being really careful to not go into an area I don't want to go into. Color the whole neck. And it's okay if some of these areas are darker and some of them are lighter. That is okay. Okay, so now I've got all that done, see? And I'm gonna color in these sides as well. First, you know what? I think I'm gonna take my crayon and do some more shapes back there. I think I will take this darker green and I will make stars. Yeah. If you know how to make stars, go for it. If not, you just do whatever it is you want to do. That is okay with me. I'm going to color the whole thing in. An easy way to make a star, if you don't know, is to make a line and then another one like you're going to make a triangle. Then make one going across like you're making a big A, but with the lines going all the way out. Then take that one and connect it to that bottom. And then that one, connect it to the other side as well. Now you've got a star. Okay, I think that's enough stars for me. And I think this one I'm gonna make yellow. But I've mixed my green and my yellow. So what do you do when your colors mix up here and you want them clean again? You can take that paper towel and just wipe it off, okay? Let that towel soak up all of that wet paint. And now you've got yellow again. Just keep wiping until you get all the color that you don't want on there off. Just like that, yellow again. All right, I'm gonna make sure my brush is really, really clean here, really clean. Okay, and I'm gonna add some more water to it because now it's all dry again, so I need it wet again. Okay, now we've got yellow. And I'm gonna come down here and color in that area. Alrighty. All right, I've got that whole area colored in. And I think over here, I think I'll take some orange and I will make, I'll make big lines, big thick lines going across. So not just drawing at one, I'm gonna really make them really thick. You could even draw trees back there or mountain, just whatever it is you want to do back here. It's your painting, okay? And so I think that I will do that one red. Just because the only area I have that's red is that eye up there, so we might as well put more red. I still hear that music outside. It makes me happy. People enjoying their day, listening to music and having fun. That's what life is all about, right? Let's have some fun with it. All right. Okay. I have got my entire paper covered. And that looks so cool, doesn't it? All right. You might still be working on yours, and that's okay. You just keep working and working and working. And if you finish it and you want to do a different one, go grab yourself a piece of paper and do it again. I mean, you could even let this side dry completely, like no wet, turn it over and do the other side, and then you have two, okay? You can enjoy making different shapes or different faces, and just, you know, have a good old time with it. Okay, I'll see you here next week for a different project. Bye.